The crisp envelope arrived at Sofia's doorstep like a whisper from another time. Its paper, aged and fragile, bore no return address, only her name elegantly scripted in a hand she could not recognize. Intrigued, she traced her fingers over the embossed seal before carefully breaking it open. Inside, she found a single card adorned with a delicate filigree of silver and gold. The words, intricately inscribed, seemed to dance across the page. "You are invited to the unveiling of The Dancer of Death, a performance like no other. Tomorrow night, at the stroke of midnight, the stage awaits your presence. Dare to dance with destiny." A shiver of anticipation coursed through Sofia as she read the mysterious invitation. Who could have sent it? And what was this dancer of death they spoke of? Despite the late hour, her curiosity burned brightly, casting aside any thoughts of doubt or caution. With a resolve born of curiosity and a hint of recklessness, Sofia made a silent vow to attend the clandestine performance. Little did she know that this decision would set in motion a series of events that would forever change the course of her life. The night air was thick with anticipation as Sofia made her way through the dimly lit streets toward the address specified on the invitation. Each step seemed to echo with the pulse of her racing heart, the city around her cloaked in an eerie stillness that matched the whisper of secrets that had drawn her here. Arriving at the venue, a grand, old theater with faded grandeur, Sofia hesitated at the threshold, her hand hovering over the ornate door handle. With a deep breath to steady her nerves, she pushed it open, stepping into a world cloaked in shadows and mystery. Inside, the air was heavy with the scent of old wood and polished brass, the only illumination coming from the soft glow of flickering candles. As Sofia made her way down the dimly lit corridor, she could feel the weight of countless eyes upon her, watching, waiting. At last, she reached the entrance to the main auditorium, where a single figure stood silhouetted against the darkness. His presence was commanding, his features obscured by the play of light and shadow, but Sofia sensed a power emanating from him that sent a shiver down her spine. "You came," his voice echoed through the cavernous space, rich and melodious, like the haunting strains of a long-forgotten melody. "I did," Sofia replied, her own voice barely more than a whisper. "But I still don't understand. What is this place? And who are you?" The figure stepped forward, the light catching the glint of his eyes as he extended a hand toward her. "All will be revealed in time, my dear. But for now, allow me to introduce myself. I am known as the Maestro, and this," he gestured to the stage behind him, "is where your journey begins." With a sense of both trepidation and excitement, Sofia allowed herself to be led into the heart of the theater, where a single spotlight illuminated a stage bathed in darkness. As she took her place in the front row, she could feel the weight of centuries-old secrets pressing down upon her, each moment tinged with the promise of something extraordinary about to unfold. The stage was a canvas of darkness, a void waiting to be filled with the echoes of a forgotten tale. Sofia watched with bated breath as the maestro disappeared into the wings, leaving her alone in the hushed anticipation of the theater. Then, from the depths of the darkness, a single note pierced the silence, a haunting melody that seemed to coil around Sofia's heart, drawing her deeper into its embrace. Slowly, hesitantly, a figure emerged from the shadows, moving with a grace that defied description. It was a woman, her form draped in layers of flowing fabric that shimmered like moonlight on water. With each step, she seemed to float across the stage, her movements a symphony of shadow and light. As the music swelled, Sofia felt herself being swept away on a tide of emotion, her senses tingling with the intoxicating thrill of the unknown. She watched, enraptured, as the dancer wove a spellbinding tale with nothing more than the language of her body, a story of love and loss, of passion and despair. But beneath the beauty of the performance lurked a darker truth, a sense of foreboding that sent a chill racing down Sofia's spine. There was something not quite right about this place, about the dance that held her captive in its thrall. As the final notes faded into silence, Sofia found herself holding her breath, her heart pounding in her chest. The applause that followed was deafening, a cacophony of voices echoing through the theater like a distant thunderstorm. But amid the clamor, Sofia could not shake the feeling that she was being watched, that every eye in the room was fixed upon her, waiting for her next move. And as she glanced around the dimly lit auditorium, she realized with a sinking heart that she was not alone in her suspicions. The shadows seemed to whisper with a voice all their own, a sinister melody that sent shivers down Sofia's spine. And as she gazed into the darkness, she knew with a certainty that chilled her to the bone, the dance had only just begun. As Sofia stepped out of the theater into the cool night air, the echoes of the performance still lingered in her mind like a haunting melody. She walked through the deserted streets, her thoughts consumed by the enigmatic dancer and the mysterious maestro who had orchestrated it all. With each step, the world around her seemed to blur, the lines between reality and illusion growing ever more faint. Was it just her imagination, or did the shadows dance with a life of their own, whispering secrets she could not comprehend? Lost in a labyrinth of uncertainty, Sofia found herself drawn back to the theater night after night, unable to resist the pull of its seductive embrace. Each time, she would take her place in the front row, watching with a mixture of fascination and fear as the dancer wove her spellbinding tales. But with each performance, Sofia sensed a darkness lurking beneath the surface, a malevolent presence that seemed to grow stronger with every passing moment. And try as she might to resist its allure, she could not shake the feeling that she was being drawn into a web of deceit from which there could be no escape. It was during one such performance that Sofia first caught sight of him, a figure lurking in the shadows, his eyes burning with a hunger she could not name. He watched her with an intensity that sent a shiver down her spine, his presence like a weight upon her soul. And as the final notes of the melody faded into silence, Sofia knew with a sinking heart that she could no longer deny the truth. The dancer of death had claimed her as her own, and there was nothing she could do to stop it. Night after night, Sofia found herself drawn deeper into the twisted world of the theater, unable to resist the siren call of its mysteries. Each performance seemed to blur into the next, the boundaries between reality and illusion growing ever more tenuous. But amid the haunting beauty of the dancer's movements, Sofia could not shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. Whispers echoed through the darkness, their words too faint to decipher but their intent unmistakable, a warning, perhaps, or a plea for salvation. Desperate for answers, Sofia sought out the maestro, hoping to unravel the secrets that bound them all in their sinister dance. But he remained elusive, his presence like a shadow slipping through her fingers whenever she tried to grasp it. And then, one fateful night, as Sofia lingered in the theater long after the performance had ended, she felt a presence at her side, a whisper of breath against her ear, a touch as cold as death itself. Turning, she found herself face to face with the figure she had seen lurking in the shadows. A man with eyes as dark as midnight and a smile that sent a shiver down her spine. "You seek the truth, do you not?" he murmured, his voice a velvet caress that sent tendrils of fear crawling up Sofia's spine. "I do," she replied, her voice barely more than a whisper. "But I fear what I may find." The man's smile widened, revealing teeth as sharp as daggers. "Fear not, my dear. For the truth you seek lies within reach. But be warned, the path you tread is fraught with danger, and not all who seek it emerge unscathed." With those cryptic words, he vanished into the darkness, leaving Sofia alone once more with her thoughts and her fears. And as she stood in the empty theater, surrounded by shadows that seemed to pulse with a life of their own, she knew that her journey had only just begun. The days blurred into nights as Sofia delved deeper into the mysteries of the theater, her obsession growing with each passing moment. She pored over ancient tomes and whispered legends, searching for clues to unlock the secrets that lay hidden within its walls, but try as she might, the truth remained elusive, tantalizingly out of reach. And as the night stretched on, Sofia found herself plagued by visions, nightmares that twisted and turned like the shadows themselves, whispering of horrors too terrible to comprehend. That it was during one such night that Sofia awoke to find herself standing at the threshold of the theater, the moon hanging low in the sky like a watchful eye. Without hesitation, she pushed open the doors and stepped inside, the darkness swallowing her whole. As she made her way through the empty corridors, Sofia felt a sense of déjà vu wash over her, a feeling that she had been here before, that every step she took was guided by a hand unseen. And then, just as she reached the entrance to the main auditorium, Sofia heard it, a faint melody drifting through the darkness, its notes like tendrils reaching out to ensnare her soul. With a sense of both dread and determination, Sofia stepped into the auditorium, where she found the stage bathed in a soft, ethereal light. And there, at its center, stood the dancer, her form wreathed in shadow and mystery. But this time, as Sofia watched the dancer's movements, she felt a strange sense of clarity wash over her, a knowledge that had been buried deep within her soul, waiting to be uncovered. For in that moment, Sofia realized the truth that had been hidden from her all along: the dancer of death was not her enemy, but her salvation. And only by embracing the darkness within herself could she hope to break free from its grasp. As Sofia stood transfixed by the dancer's mesmerizing movements, a flood of memories washed over her, a torrent of images and emotions from a past she had long forgotten. She saw herself as a child, twirling and spinning in the moonlit garden, her laughter ringing out like music in the night. She saw her mother, her face alight with joy as she watched her daughter dance, her eyes filled with a love that knew no bounds. But amid the joyous memories, there were darker shadows lurking, a sense of loss and longing that tugged at Sofia's heart like a weight dragging her down into the depths. She saw her mother's face contorted in pain, her eyes haunted by a grief Sofia could not comprehend. She saw herself, alone and afraid, wandering through a world cloaked in darkness, searching for something she could not name. And then, as the memories coalesced into a single, piercing truth, Sofia understood: the dancer of death was not a foe to be feared, but a mirror reflecting the deepest recesses of her own soul. She was the embodiment of Sofia's pain and longing, her movements a testament to the struggles she had faced and the strength she had yet to discover. With this realization came a sense of clarity, a newfound understanding of who she was and what she must do. And as the final notes of the melody faded into silence, Sofia stepped forward, her heart filled with a resolve she had never known before, for she knew now that the only way to break free from the shadows that bound her was to dance with them, to embrace the darkness within herself and emerge reborn, stronger and more alive than she had ever been before. With newfound determination burning in her veins, Sofia embarked on a journey of self-discovery unlike any she had known before. She delved deeper into the secrets of the theater, seeking out hidden truths and confronting her deepest fears with unwavering resolve. Along the way, she encountered allies and adversaries alike, figures shrouded in mystery, their motives as enigmatic as the shadows themselves. Some sought to aid her in her quest for truth, while others seemed intent on leading her astray, their words dripping with deceit and betrayal. But through it all, Sofia remained steadfast in her pursuit, her faith in herself and her abilities unwavering. She faced each challenge with courage and determination, drawing strength from the knowledge that she was not alone in her struggle. And as she journeyed deeper into the heart of the theater, Sofia began to uncover secrets that had long been buried beneath layers of deception and illusion. She unearthed ancient artifacts and forgotten legends, piecing together the fragments of a story that stretched back centuries, but with each revelation came new questions, new mysteries waiting to be unraveled. And as Sofia delved ever deeper into the shadows, she knew that the truth she sought was closer than ever before, for she was not just a dancer caught in the throes of a sinister game, she was a warrior, a champion of light in a world consumed by darkness. And with each step she took, she drew closer to the ultimate truth that lay at the heart of it all. In her quest for truth, Sofia stumbled upon a forbidden rhythm that echoed through the halls of the theater, a melody so haunting, so primal, that it stirred something deep within her soul. It was a rhythm older than time itself, a heartbeat that pulsed with the power of creation and destruction. Drawn by its irresistible pull, Sofia followed the sound to a hidden chamber deep beneath the stage, a place of ancient power and untold secrets. There, she found herself face to face with a being unlike any she had ever encountered before, a being of pure darkness and light, whose very presence seemed to warp reality itself. But instead of striking fear into Sofia's heart, the being's gaze filled her with a sense of peace and purpose. For she recognized in its eyes a reflection of her own inner struggles, a mirror image of the battles she had fought and the victories she had won. Together, they danced to the forbidden rhythm, their movements a symphony of light and shadow, of joy and sorrow. And as they twirled and spun, Sofia felt a sense of unity with the universe, a oneness that transcended time and space, binding her to the very essence of existence itself. In that moment, Sofia understood the true nature of her journey, to embrace the darkness within herself and to wield it as a weapon against the forces of oppression and despair. For she was not just a dancer or a warrior, she was a beacon of hope in a world consumed by fear, and with the forbidden rhythm coursing through her veins, Sofia knew that she was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. For she was the embodiment of destiny, the chosen one destined to bring light to the darkest corners of the universe. As Sofia delved deeper into the mysteries of the theater, she began to unravel the tangled web of deception that had ensnared her from the very beginning. She discovered that behind the facade of beauty and grace lay a darker truth, a truth that threatened to tear apart the very fabric of reality itself. She learned of ancient rituals and forbidden rites, of sacrifices made in the name of power and control. She uncovered hidden alliances and secret societies, their members lurking in the shadows, pulling the strings of fate with a callous disregard for the lives they manipulated. But amid the chaos and confusion, Sofia also found allies, friends who stood by her side, their loyalty unwavering in the face of danger. Together, they forged a path through the darkness, their bond growing stronger with each trial they faced. And as Sofia confronted her enemies head-on, she discovered a strength within herself that she had never known existed. She wielded the power of the forbidden rhythm like a weapon, striking down those who sought to harm her and protect those she held dear. But even as she fought to uncover the truth, Sofia knew that the battle was far from over. For lurking in the shadows was a darkness greater than any she had faced before, a darkness that threatened to consume not just her, but all of existence itself. With determination burning in her heart, Sofia prepared to face her greatest challenge yet. For she knew that only by confronting the darkness within herself could she hope to emerge victorious and bring an end to the veil of deception that had shrouded her world for so long. The stage was set for the final confrontation, the air crackling with tension as Sofia stood poised on the brink of destiny. Before her, the shadows writhed and twisted, coalescing into a form both familiar and terrifying, a figure clad in darkness, its eyes burning with a malevolent light. But Sofia was undaunted. With the power of the forbidden rhythm coursing through her veins, she faced her adversary head-on, her movements fluid and precise as she danced across the stage. Each step was a declaration of defiance, each gesture a challenge to the forces that sought to control her. And as the music swelled to a crescendo, Sofia felt a surge of energy unlike anything she had ever experienced before, a surge that seemed to emanate from the very core of her being. With a cry of triumph, Sofia unleashed the full force of her power, channeling the energy of the forbidden rhythm into a blinding wave of light that engulfed her foe. And as the darkness receded, Sofia stood victorious, her spirit ablaze with the fire of triumph. But even as she basked in the glow of her victory, Sofia knew that her journey was far from over. For though she had vanquished her enemy, the shadows still lingered, whispering of threats yet to come. With a determined smile, Sofia stepped forward into the unknown, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. For she knew that as long as she held the power of the forbidden rhythm in her heart, she could overcome any obstacle and dance her way to victory. In the aftermath of her victory, Sofia found herself consumed by a newfound sense of purpose. With the darkness banished and the veil of deception lifted, she turned her attention to unraveling the enigma that had plagued her for so long. Guided by the whispers of the shadows and the echoes of ancient legends, Sofia delved deeper into the mysteries of the theater, seeking answers to questions that had long eluded her. She studied arcane texts and consulted with wise sages, piecing together the fragments of a puzzle that spanned centuries. And with each revelation, Sofia uncovered a truth more astonishing than the last, a truth that threatened to shake the very foundations of her world. She learned of forgotten civilizations and lost civilizations, of prophecies written in the stars and destinies intertwined with her own. But amid the chaos and confusion, Sofia also discovered a glimmer of hope, a beacon of light shining through the darkness, guiding her on her journey. And as she followed its lead, she found herself drawn inexorably toward a destiny she could scarcely have imagined. With determination burning in her heart, Sofia pressed forward, her resolve unwavering in the face of adversity. For she knew that only by confronting the secrets of her past could she hope to forge a future worth fighting for. And so, with each step she took, Sofia drew closer to the ultimate truth, a truth that would not only change her life, but the fate of the world itself. As Sofia delved deeper into the heart of the theater, she found herself confronted by a darkness unlike any she had encountered before. It whispered to her from the shadows, twisting and coiling around her like a serpent waiting to strike, but instead of turning away in fear, Sofia embraced the darkness, allowing it to wash over her like a wave crashing against the shore. For she knew that only by confronting her deepest fears could she hope to overcome them and emerge stronger on the other side. With each step she took, Sofia felt the darkness within her grow, its power mingling with her own until she could no longer tell where one ended and the other began. And as she embraced her shadow self, she felt a sense of liberation unlike anything she had ever known before. Gone were the doubts and insecurities that had plagued her for so long, replaced instead by a fierce sense of determination and purpose. With the darkness as her ally, Sofia knew that she was unstoppable, capable of facing any challenge that lay ahead, and so, with newfound confidence coursing through her veins, Sofia pressed on, her path illuminated by the faint glow of her own inner light. For she knew that no matter how dark the road may seem, as long as she embraced the shadows within her, she would always find her way. As Sofia ventured deeper into the heart of the theater, she felt the weight of destiny pressing down upon her like a leaden cloak. Every step brought her closer to the moment she had been preparing for her entire life, the final waltz that would determine the fate of the world. With each passing moment, the air crackled with anticipation, the tension mounting to a fever pitch. The stage was set, the players assembled, and the time for reckoning had come at last. As Sofia stepped onto the stage, she felt a surge of energy coursing through her veins, a primal force that seemed to emanate from the very depths of her being. With each graceful movement, she wove a tapestry of light and shadow, her dance a testament to the power of the human spirit. But amid the beauty of her performance, there was also a sense of urgency, a feeling that time was running out, and that the fate of the world hung in the balance. And as Sofia danced with all the passion and intensity she could muster, she knew that she was not alone, for behind her stood her allies, their faces alight with determination and resolve. Together, they moved as one, their movements synchronized in perfect harmony as they fought against the darkness that threatened to consume them. And as the final notes of the melody echoed through the theater, Sofia felt a sense of peace wash over her, a feeling of fulfillment unlike anything she had ever known before. For in that moment, she knew that she had fulfilled her destiny, and that the world was safe once more. But even as she basked in the glow of her victory, Sofia knew that her journey was far from over. For though the darkness had been vanquished, it would always linger on the fringes, waiting for its chance to rise again. And so, with a smile on her lips and a fire in her heart, Sofia stepped forward into the unknown, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. For she knew that as long as she danced with courage and conviction, she would always emerge victorious in the end. As Sofia emerged from the shadows of the theater, she was greeted by the first light of dawn, a golden glow that heralded the beginning of a new era. The darkness had been banished, the secrets of the past laid bare, and the world was reborn in the light of a new day. But amid the joyous celebrations, Sofia could not shake the feeling of unease that gnawed at her soul. For though the immediate threat had been vanquished, she knew that the forces of darkness would not rest until they had been defeated once and for all. And so, with a sense of determination burning in her heart, Sofia vowed to continue her quest, to seek out the remnants of darkness wherever they may hide and to bring them to light. With each passing day, she traveled far and wide, her journey taking her to the farthest reaches of the world and beyond. Along the way, she encountered friends and foes alike, each encounter testing her resolve and strengthening her spirit, but through it all, Sofia remained steadfast in her mission, her faith unwavering in the face of adversity. And as she faced each new challenge with courage and conviction, she knew that she was not alone, for she carried with her the lessons of the past, the wisdom of the ages, and the indomitable spirit of a warrior born to dance with destiny. And with each step she took, she moved ever closer to the ultimate redemption, the redemption of a world reborn in the light of hope and love.